Harmless.flexmls.com. Do you have your sign-in already, Julio?
I don't think I do, no. I just signed up literally less than 2 days ago.
Okay, so the SH275 is my MLS ID. You should have been given one when you joined. Did you join the MLS yet?
No. I'm doing the server, right? Southeast.
Okay, so once you get all that signed up with them, they're going to give you a log on for this, okay? And you just click on log on. Now, your dashboard can be configured however you like it. This is the way I like mine. Right here on the home button, you can, on the menu button right here, you can go in here and configure your dashboards. You see the ones that I have here with the stars?
Yeah.
Those are what show up right here across the top. They're the ones that I use the most.
Okay.
You can see monsoon, transaction desk, showing time. Those are the things that I use the most when I'm on the MLS. You can add any one of these items. You can see how when you hover over it, you can put a star and it'll put it up there in your menu up here. Either way, you can always click here to access this information. You're going to want to set up your profile. So you're going to go to Preferences, set up your profile. You want to go into your names, make sure that's all correct. You click on Next. Your phone numbers. You can add fax number, office number, whatever number you decide. This is my mobile number is what I have in mind because that's the only number I use. Click on Done. Your email addresses, if you have more than one, you can put another one here. You just click on New right here. Okay? Yes, everybody? Okay? And done. My web addresses. This is where I keep my website address. So when you're emailing people and sending out properties, it's going to have all this information loaded in there for them. There's a signature, so to speak. So every time you send out a plano, it's going to have all your information on it for the client on the MLS. I'll show you. Okay. Done here. And your personal photo. This is where you can add your logo and your picture. If you want to change your password, this is where you go to do that. I don't want to change my password, so they're going to make you change your password every, I don't know how many months.
It's like every couple months.
Every 6 months, I think it is, or something like that. And it's a real pain, but you just have to do it. Whoops, what happened? Okay, so let's start with doing a client buyer search on the MLS. Like I said, you can have your dashboard be however you like it. People do it all different ways. These things move around, see? So, in fact, mine is really supposed to be like this. That's how I like it. I've got my search right here at the top. That's the thing I use the most. These are my contacts, and it'll always show up. The people who are using it most recently will show up at the top. Jason is a buyer I'm working with right now. He's actively looking. He was on there this morning. It shows you what they're on there and what they received from you. So let's just say we want to find something for Jason. I'm going to click on residential. Here's your statuses. If you want to do a CMA, you're going to hold your control button down to select all of these. And you can select your date range. This goes back 6 months. That's if you're doing comps. Today we're going to look at how to do a search. So I'm just going to go up to active only because I don't want to look at the under contract. UCD means it's under contract. taking backups. So Jason likes the area code 85032. I'm going to go ahead and put 85032 in the zip code. I'm going to go into dwelling type, click single family or whatever it is that their criteria is. You want to get as specific as you can here. Jason doesn't want to live in anything less than 1,800 square feet, so we're going to go ahead and put that in there. And he has to have a pool. So we're going to put pool in here too. And that's showing me 0 properties. That's hilarious. That can't possibly be right. There we go. 28 properties active in 85032 that follow that criteria. You can go in here. I'm going to skip around real quick to show you something. When you have a client and you want to set them up on a portal, we're going to go to contact management. The reason I want to show you this is because I want to show you how to put this in their portal and then show them how to save their favorites, and you can recommend properties to them. So let's go to contact management, and I'm going to do a quick ad. So we'll do Fred Flintstone. And I'm just going to put my email address in there. But obviously you would put the client's email address in there. Check the portal box, because you want them to be on. Only set them up on a portal if they're your client. If you've gotten them to commit to you, that's their gift. That's what makes you special. Okay, they don't get the portal unless they commit to you. You can send them a list of properties, just, you know, to try to get them in, but don't hook them up on a portal until you know they're going to work with you. Okay? Because it takes work, and I just feel like they should.
It's a benefit.
It's a benefit. That's the reason why they're going with a realtor. Okay, so we're going to add contact. Oops, sorry, cancel. We're going to add right here. So now Fred's in there. And I'm going to, you have to send a confirmation email. So we'll do that. Over here on the portal, you want to invite them to the portal. There's a standard email in here that can be edited in your preferences. This is one that I put in there for mine. So we'll go ahead and send that, and I'll get to showing you how to edit those emails as well. Alright, so Fred's all set up now. I'm going to close him, and I'm going to go back to searching. I didn't save that search, but it was a pretty easy search, so I'm just going to go ahead and redo it. Active properties, single family, 85032, at least 1,800 square feet, and it needs a pool. So here we have 28 properties that could possibly match Fred Flintstone's criteria. Right here, it says work on behalf of the client. I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to put Fred's name in. Whoops. And we're going to click on Fred Flintstone. And look at that, I put the email in there wrong, so it's not going to send me anything. But now it shows that you're working for Fred Flintstone. So anything you do in here is going to show up in his portal. For instance, let's say that we like this house on Maryland and we want him to take a look at it. That's recommend to contact right there. This is where the client is going to star it if they like it. And they're going to mark it with a no if they don't like it. This way, when you go into the portal, you know what they're looking at, you know what they like, you know which properties they want to see. It's a great way to keep track. If you're in here looking at the list and you're like, you want them to look at this one, you're going to click on recommend here and tell them to pay attention to the blue suitcase where they get their emails. Now, if we want to email these properties to Fred, we'll click here on top to click all of those listings. Go over here to email. This is something that I do. You don't have to do this. I don't like this blue color. My colors are black and red like my home group, so I always change my default to black. Use color. You can use any color you want in here, or you can leave it the way it is. The default is that light blue. And I keep forgetting I can look at my screen. I'm looking up there. I've saved a bunch of templates, and I'll show you how to do that in a minute, but I'm just going to go requested properties with portal. This is an email that I put in there that I send out whenever I invite them to their portal and send them their first list. So this just says, look for your VIP portal. Our home hunting service makes it easier and less time consuming, and here's how it works, and we let you beat out of the buyers, and you'll receive regular updates. If you guys want any of this information for yourself, I'm happy to share. And then email it. Now, the next thing you want to do is go back to your search results, and let's save it. You want to save the search. Typically when I'm working with a client, I'll save the search under their name unless I'm doing something specific for a neighborhood or a subdivision. It's up to you what you want to name it. I'm going to name this Fred Flintstone. It's already attached to Fred because we told him we were working with him. If you didn't have that, you could add a client here. And I'm going to save and add a subscription, because then it will email Fred every time there's a new or changed listing, and it will let him know when there's any price reductions or if they come off the market, they go pending. So we're going to save and add subscription. Once again, I have templates in here that I made up. So this is for the automated searches, so you don't want, I always just put new or changed listings, and all it says is, hey, there's new or changed listings in your web portal. Usually in the subject line, I'll put for Fred or whatever it happens to be, and then you can go in here and go, hi Fred. Now, every time it'll say that when it sends him the email, when there's new or changed listings. So we just click save, and we already emailed the listings to Fred, so I don't need to do it again, but should you had not, you could have done it right here. Okay? Yes? All right, cool. Everybody got that? Any questions so far? All right. So let me show you about the templates. We're going to go back here to menu, and we're going to go to preferences, and we want to go to, I think it's maybe general, I'm not sure. You're going to want to look at your general preferences anyway. We have I would just leave this on the default unless there's something that you really want to change. I don't really go in here and do anything. It's not under general. Excuse me, let me find it. I don't know where the templates are. Oh, under portal setup. That's where it is. Portal preferences. God, that took me long enough. All right. Oh, that's another thing, you guys. I have not changed my MLS to the new
I need to do that.
new portal. I have a client that is a very good client that I've been with for years, and I just said they don't like the new portal, so I'm staying with the old classic version. I will switch this over for right now so that you guys can see, because you guys will probably want to use the new version. Let me find the templates.
But is that where you change it over then? Where you just work?
Yes.
Okay.
And I don't know where there's your intro email for your portal, so you can go in and customize that. You'll have to look and see what it says, because I don't know what the default is.
Okay.
Let's see how we're doing. Oh, we're doing great for time. Great, I don't know where the templates are. I'll find them.
So you were basically trying to go into the, what the client would see on their end, like on the portal side?
What I'm trying to do is, you know how I told you I have all these templates set up
Templates, okay.
for the searches in the portal? Here. So, anytime I send a message, say I want to email these listings to Jason, it must be under email preferences. All right, you see here where it says template?
Yeah.
So the default is blank. In yours, you're not going to have all these.
Yeah.
I made all these up to put in there. Just depends on the situation. I even did a delayed response email once because I didn't get back to him for a couple days. So I'm like, I'm sorry, you know. Here, forgive me, email. Anyway, let me see the templates here. Find where options. I know how to do it. Okay, this is it. You're gonna write your email.
And save as new template.
Yep. This is a template. And now there it is. Save as new.
Great.
Okay? So the next time you go in and you click on this down arrow, template should be in there.
So if for some reason that you decide that it's outdated, you don't want to use it, can you delete it?
Yes.
And make a new one?
Oh,
there you go.
Yeah, right here.
Okay, perfect. Okay.
And the way to make that pop up is to click options. Right there. All right. So now you've got your client in here and you've created a search and you've created a portal for them. Let's talk about listings. If you're not using a transaction coordinator, you're going to input your listing yourself. There's several ways you can do it. So right here is where you change your listings. If you have price changes, if you're adding a listing, you can click here to add a brand new one. Or if you've already had it listed, or sometimes like I'll go through and let's just say my house. So just to make it easier, make it auto-populate, I'll take this MLS number right here, copy it, right-click and copy it, then I go back, add a listing, or I do a copy. Control-V. We can't copy photos because it's not my listing. If it's your own listing, you can copy the photos, but it won't let you if you're not. Click on Next. It was originally a rental. I'm just going to go ahead and go through with it the way it was. But you can change it to residential here. Click on Next, and you're going to get your main fields going up here. I'm not going to complete this listing because it won't be a listing, but you're going to click on the next button here, and you want to make sure this is all right. I click on the populate tax data just to make sure it's cool. And you can see how these are all kind of filled in already, some of them anyway. And up here in this corner, you can show all fields, you can show required fields only, or you can show empty required fields. Since we've already populated some of this, I'm going to show empty required fields because it can't fill out everything. It doesn't know what we want the price to be, $1,800 a month, and your status is going to be active, and then your list date today, your expiration date at the end of June. I usually do listings for 6 months minimum. I've never had a house on the market for 6 months, ever. Maybe once in 16 years. Maybe once. It was on a main road. Okay, so EA means exclusive agency. ER is exclusive right to sell. That's the one you're going to pick. Usually EA is, if you're not, it's like a pocket listing. So you're trying to get the buyer yourself. So it wouldn't have a co-broke. And it wouldn't go out to the other agents. Whatever date it's available, this is a rental, so we're just going to pretend like it's available on that date. Sub-agents, no is the answer to that. We're going to give a buyer broker. Usually on rentals, it's really low. It's a dollar amount, but typical buyer broker is 3%. That's always negotiable. And that would be 3% of the entire lease. If the property was also for sale, you would put whatever your comp to the buyer broker is there. Variable commission means if the listing agent procures, and you would put this in your listing, if the listing agent procures the buyer, like I'll do it for 6%, but if I procure the buyer, I'll give you a point off. And the reason why you want to list this in the MLS is so that the agents know that you, the listing agent, has an incentive, or the seller has an incentive to use that, whatever buyer I bring, because they'll get a point off for that. It just shows that we have a little bit of leverage. Mm-hmm. So we want to disclose that on the MLS. Okay? I do variable commissions all the time. I very rarely do dual agency though. I'll offer to do it. If I procure the buyer, I'll give them a break, but I also think that dual agency is a slippery slope. It's like having a lawyer represent both sides. But it happens, you know, and you can do it, and it's okay. You just have to be careful about what you say. Is there a renewal comp? No, and it's a single family. And if you know the builder, write it in here. If you don't, put unknown. And I'm just going to save it as incomplete, because if I add it, it's going to add it onto the MLS, and I don't really want this on the MLS. Any questions? You understand how to pull up the information and auto-populate? Awesome. So let me just show you what to do if you want to go back and finish your listing. I use a company called Lister Assister. So they input my listings on the MLS for me. And when, there are several other companies out there, Rocket Lister I think is another one, I don't remember the names, but they list it, they put everything in, then save it as incomplete, and I could go back in and modify it, and then put the things in that need to be put in, like price and things like that, and then I can save it as, I can add it. So this is where you go for your incomplete listings. And you see, it's right here, Dahlia Drive, the one that I just saved. So I would just click on edit. So here's where your photos go. You just upload some pictures. Find a picture from somewhere. Let's see. Nope. Oh, sorry, guys. Hang on. Wallach, where do you go? Yeah. Just pick a picture. Okay. Return to edit your listing. This is where the general information is, and it brings you right back to the beginning screen, just like when you're inputting. So if you were inputting by hand, you would pick this. If you have a co-listing agent, you would put their name or their short ID. SH275 is mine. The short ID is always your MLS ID. Sometimes agents are going to ask for your ID when they're looking to look at properties. You just give them your text them your MLS ID. And you go through and you fill all this stuff out. See, here is where you put all your directions. 40th Street North, blah, 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 XXX. Public remarks, beautiful house, whatever it is you want to put in here. Don't do this in all caps, please. so difficult to read. Sometimes people do the description in all caps. Not only is it yelling, it's really hard to read. And Google doesn't like it. Remember that Google is indexing these things every day. You want it to show up when people are searching the internet for properties in 85032. You want it to pop up. So keep your descriptions concise and keyword rich. Don't be afraid to put it. It's near the Surprise Stadium. You know, somebody might be looking for homes near Surprise Stadium, and that'll make it show up on Google. Okay? We're going to go back to save and complete. And then I'm going to go back to the incomplete screen so you can just see if I wanted to remove this, this is where I delete it. And we'll get rid of that. I don't even know what that is. We'll move that too. All right. Any questions? Okay. I need a drink of water. Excuse me. Anybody else want water?
I'm just going to sneak these in for the next class.
Okay. We're going to do Skyslope next.
Yeah, that's
Okay, and then transaction desk after that. Are you going to stay for that?
the transaction, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, here. Here's some handouts for you.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Let's do this. All right, so it's 10:30. I'm going to go over one last thing on the MLS, and then we're going to switch over to Skyslope. Skyslope is our, it's where you upload your files to the broker for review, and that's where the broker keeps the files for their records. They have to keep the files for the department. You have 72 hours after an executed contract to get it uploaded into Skyslope, or you're out of compliance. We don't want to be out of compliance. If you've ever taken John's classes, you know we have an obligation to have perfect paperwork. The last thing I want to show you on here is how to run comps. So, let's run comps on my house. There's a couple of different ways. The quick, down and dirty way. Monsoon. Are you guys familiar with Monsoon? Alright. Monsoon is the tax records. This is where you go to. You're going to need a copy of this when you write your contracts and stuff. We're going to search for my house. And I'm renting my house. I don't own my house, so it won't have my name on here. Alright. So, see right here, this button, comp? This is what I call a down and dirty comp. If you just want to like get it real quick and get a quick idea without doing a whole lot of research, this is the best place to go. So, you want to do located within a mile. You want to do your square feet within 20. Your building within 20, and I like to do pool same as subject. So let me show you what I did here. Add, modify fields. And wait, where's pools? Did I have pools already in here? No. They used to have pools in here.
What add field?
There it is. Pool. Alright. Save. Alright, so we want pool same as subject. Whenever you're running comps, you want to get as close to apples as you can. A lot of times too, I'll start with half a mile rather than a mile just to see what's really close. You can also here do it in the same subdivision, should you choose. And you just have to click apply criteria to see what it's saying. And those prices look a little low. Then you can go down here and look at the other properties. These are in my same subdivision. And you see here, this is your average price, $265. It's really worth more like $295 because I live there and I know what the prices are. $329 this one sold for. This one sold for $279, so it's taking an average of those two. That's really not enough information in my opinion. So I would go back and instead of being in the same subdivision, I'm gonna go half a mile. Let's see what happens when we do that. You apply criteria, now the prices are going up. See?
No.
And you're gonna look at these properties and just kind of compare normal sale, non-MLS. Here's another flip. Compare a flip to a flip, because usually they're gonna be upgraded, right? So a house that hasn't been updated compared to a house that has been updated is gonna be worth more money, depending on how much it's been updated, and it could be substantial, like 20, 30,000. So you need to pay attention to that. This is down and dirty quick, okay? Let me show you how to do it. If you really want to get in depth with your client, you don't want to view those on maps. See this little pin right here? This is how you can locate an address. I say, use this location. It's going to ask me, do I want to do a radius search? Yeah, let's do a radius, 1 mile radius. An appraiser will always go 1 mile to find comps. They'll look for the closest ones first, and then they go out from there. They will only go outside of 1 mile if you have a unique property, which happens, and there's nothing around, or they don't have any sales to compare it to. Then they'll go further out to find a house that compares. So when you're running comps, you want to think like an appraiser. And what would they be looking at? Okay, remember how I showed you to do this? You want to look at everything through close, so you're going to hit your control button and click on delay, pending, and closed. See all date ranges, you want to go 6 months back. We only want single family dwellings because it's a house. My house, I think, is 1,500 square feet. Here's how you can tell the square footage. You go to tax, and right here, 1479 is my square feet. So I want to go plus or minus 20%, and I just kind of guesstimate. So I'll do 1,200 square feet to, say, 1,900 square feet. I do not have a pool, so we don't want to look at properties with pools. And you can change it right here. You keep clicking and it'll change it to not pools. Hold on. Why isn't it? Oh, sorry, I clicked the wrong one. No pool. Okay? So now we have 71 properties to look at. We can figure out if we want to narrow this range down a little bit, because that's a lot of houses. But I just kind of take a glance. I'll look at the map and zoom out. When you're on the MLS here and you're on the map page, you can click right on the property and it'll show you. So I'm looking at the ones that are closest to my pin. Where's my pin? Over here. Okay. So I want to look at the ones closest to see what my sales are. That closed for $250. That's crazy. I'm shocked by that. I thought it would be more. Okay. There's another one, closed for $327. Look at the difference in price there. Isn't that crazy? You can click right on the MLS and it'll pull it up for you. And then I'll look at, so this one's 15, 16 square feet. It's not that much bigger, but it's been fully updated. Mine has as well. So you want to like go through the pictures, see how nice that is. It's clean. It's been completely updated. That's the reason why they got $327 for this house. Let's go back to this other one that went for $250 and look at the difference.
Dated.
I thought I went in this house and it was not dated, but let me just check it again. No garage. Yeah, it's a little dated.
Slightly.
Yeah. But it still has granite countertops, it still has nice cabinets, and it still has tile flooring. An appraiser is still going to count for that. He doesn't care if they're black or white or what color they are, as long as they're nice. These are decent cabinets. They look like they've been painted or upgraded, and it looks like they have granite countertops here. So while it's not necessarily updated to our taste these days and it doesn't look quite as nice as that other one, this is still pretty decent shape
Right.
house. It's not as dated as some of the others I've seen.
How long do you think the gray and white craze will last?
I think it's going to go out of style pretty soon. Another year maybe. I don't know. I mean, I don't have a crystal ball, but you know.
It'd be nice at times.
You know, I think that the browns are going to start coming back in.
Well, I live in Central Phoenix, so there's still a bunch of homes that nobody has touched in a
Yeah.
long time.
Yeah, the post mid-century. I love that. Okay. One other way you can do comps real quick. I'm running a little behind schedule, so I'm going to go through this quickly. You guys can always email me and ask me questions, okay? RPR is a service provided by Harmless. So you can type in address, look it up. RPR, I could do a whole class on this one, you guys. So you need to just go in here and play around a little bit.
Okay.
This RVM, I'm trying to remember what the RVM stands for. Something, automated value, and RV, I don't remember. But they pick up comps for you here. It's another quick way to pull comps, a little prettier than the monsoon if you wanted to send a report to your client. So RPR is saying that house that monsoon said it in the mid-range was 250 is 291. I knew it was closer to 300. And this is a pretty accurate price in my opinion, just because I know the neighborhood. Okay? All right, let's move on to Skyslope. So you've written a let me show you, all right, kind of backwards and forwards here. Actually, I kind of think we should get into transaction desk because you need a transaction to get into Skyslope. So let's go into transaction desk next. And then I'll show you, once you have your transaction, how to upload everything into Skyslope. So let's pick a property. Which one? Let's pick this pretty one. Oh, that one's closed. We need to pick something active. Here, Ludlow looks good. All right. So Fred loves Ludlow. He wants to write an offer on it. There are several ways that you can get to transaction desk. The first thing is you have to set up your user profile and configure your settings. We're going to start getting into this right here. So I'm already set up, so it's all in here already. The first time you go set up, you're going to go to harmless.com. Oh, I'm sorry. I went to the wrong place. Hold on. Let me get my notes. There's an all-in-one sign-in that you have to sign up for. I just have to find it.
And that's on my home group then?
No, this is with Harmless.
Oh, okay.
Hold on. Where's my search button? Type to search. Hold on, you guys, I'm sorry. I kind of skipped around there. I know I have a note on this. I just don't remember the website.
So once you start using the new MLS program, can you flip back to the old one or not?
Yes,
Okay.
you can. And you can use the the old system and through 2020, everybody is saying that it's going away at the end of the year, but it's not. I checked twice. I suggest that if you're new, to just use Transaction Desk and don't learn the other one, because it'll be confusing.
So learn the new.
Learn the new one, the one I'm teaching you right now. Okay, here we go. I can't find this website, you guys. Let me try one more thing. Sorry, I should have printed this up. I'm turning this into a CE class.
Oh, good.
Okay, single sign-in is what it's called. You're going to go to aaronline.com, right where I was. No, I went to Harmless, aaronline.com. All right, this is it. So see how I have this one thing pop up? Once you sign up for it, I can't make mine go away. You have to sign up for one-step sign-on. Is that what it was called? Yeah, single sign-on. Single sign-on is what it's called, right here. And you log in, and this is where the button is for Transaction Desk. Once you do this, you do not have to come back to this page to get to Transaction Desk.
Oh, okay.
Just the first time, because it's accessible through your MLS. Okay? So if I click up here on Transaction Desk, it's going to take me to Transaction Desk dashboard. Your NERDS number is the number that NAR gives you. If you don't know your NERDS number, you can find it on the MLS. Let me show you that real quick. In your preferences, menu, my profile, right here is your NERDS number. So you need that for your single sign-on. And I think the first time it says it's your last name to sign on. And I don't believe I even changed mine, just left it.
Yeah, I've had mine forever.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to go back here to Transaction Desk. Whoops, I'm sorry, I need to close some of these windows here. There we go, dashboard. You can configure your dashboard too, just like MLS. This shows you the different tools that we have. The first thing you want to do is set up your user profile before you do anything. So you're going to go right here to these little gears, and it's going to show you this in your handout. Do your handout? No. So you want to navigate to settings, click on preferences, and you're going to fill out your information here. So this is my NERDS number here. I wonder if this is really supposed to be your SH275, I think. Is really what that's supposed to be. And click on save. So you want to put your email in there, your website, all your stuff.
I'm assuming that, can you change that at any point in time when?
Correct.
Okay, so you can change.
Correct. The only thing you can't change is this office information,
Right.
but you want to go in there and make sure it's correct,
Yeah.
which it should be. Then you're going to want to go into your email signature and type in your email signature. Then your branding. This is a banner that I have for my emails. So if you have anything like that, you can click on it and upload it. Yours won't have a picture there. It'll have a place that says upload your picture here. And then your personal picture for your branding. And then you go here if you want to change your password. So that's the first thing you do to set this up. And this will walk you through every step if you don't remember what I said. And also, just so you know, guys, right here in the question mark, this is where I got these. Anybody who is looking for these guides, it's right here. Setting up the office is where I got setting up your user profile, configure program settings, and it shows you everything you need. It'll take you step by step through. It will literally take me hours to go through all this. That's why I'm doing this CE class.
I have I have not actually logged into the Wi-Fi here, so can I get that? I've already got a profile set up, but
yes,
I know,
the
I was looking everywhere for it.
I
The
think I have
Wi-Fi code is on a
636
Is it?
636.
F636 F6E.
Can you please say that again?
636
It's
F636 F6E, all lowercase.
So this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 characters.
6, 8, 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 636.
Okay.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I do an extra F.
Okay, so next we're going to go to your program settings, right here. Okay. Most of these are pretty good on their default settings. There isn't a lot to configure here. There's a place to store documents in here. Transaction Desk is meant for you to have everything all in one spot. Your e-sign, your documents, so even your executed documents. It's where you store everything. And you can communicate with everybody through the one dashboard. So that's what the document settings is. There's forms and there's documents. Forms would be the ones you fill out. Documents would be the ones that are already filled out. If you want to do any checklists here, my home group has a checklist on the back office so you know what documents are required when you're writing a contract. I'm going to show you how to set up a template. Take your checklist, put all your documents into a template, and then when you do a contract, you should be able to write a contract in 5 minutes. Once you have this all set up. Set it up one time, you won't have to do it again. Form settings. If you want to change your font, I didn't change any of this stuff, you guys. I just left it all the way it is. There's your fax number. If somebody wants to fax you something, I don't even know if anyone uses faxes anymore. Tasks. If you decide you want to make yourself notes and use this as your kind of transaction coordination in CRM, you can give yourself tasks and it will remind you. Email settings. Do you want your documents to go as an attachment or as a link? You can decide. I send mine as an attachment. That's entirely up to you. Authentisign print driver. This is so that if you want to send something to have a signature, say you have a listing and someone sends you an offer and you want to send it to Authentisign to have your client sign it, you download this print driver and you would pretend like you're printing the document and you would go to the print driver to send it to Authentisign. There are other ways to get it in there. This is just one of the options. I don't use this, but I can see how it would be useful if you had a lot of stuff to send over. I'm finding Authentisign has some good things and some bad things. I'm still using my e-sign for certain things, just because to me it's faster. But I do like Transaction Desk a lot for writing contracts and stuff. All right, where was I? DocBox print driver setup. Again, same thing. This is where you can keep your documents. So if you wanted to keep your executed documents in here, you would just download this print driver, act like you're printing, and send it over. And that would just save you steps in having to upload each document separately. And your markup settings is your default font size. All right. Once you have all that set up, you're ready to set up your templates. All right. This is your dashboard. It has everything in it. This is transactions, Authentisign, my forms, and documents. Here are your links to get to each one of these programs. If you want to go straight to Authentisign, if you want to create a transaction from this page, there's an easier way though. This pen is for Authentisign. The house is for your transactions. When you click on that, it's going to show your transactions that you have. You click on the pen, it's going to take you to your Authentisign and show you the ones that are in there. This one's in Wizard. This one's in progress. And these are all signed. These are your forms, individual forms and transaction forms. So I don't have anything in individual forms, I don't think. Oh, the Association of Realtors and the MLS. So this is where you can find everything. And this is where I think I can show you how to do a template. So you're going to go with your checklist. I'm going to do this off the top of my head. I want to go to multiple listing. Let's create a listing template. Check on your ER, your exclusive right to sell. You're going to need a profile sheet for residential. I'm going to put a sold change form in there because I might need that at some point. I'd like to put a seller property disclosure statement in there too. But that's under the other library. Oops. Sorry guys.